But this is very ironic, because if you think about money on the deepest level, it's actually a very beautiful thing. I have maybe a gift that can meet your need, but you don't have anything to give me right now. Maybe you're, a software engineer, and I really do not need any software right now. But I'm a baker, and you're hungry, and you do need bread. Okay, so I have a gift, you have a need, but you don't have anything to give me right now. But that's okay. You can give me money instead. Money is simply, in its most beautiful form, money is simply a token of gratitude. It says thank you. Here I'm giving you. It's not useful for anything. It's just little pieces of paper. But it's a token of my gratitude. And it says that in the past, I did something for somebody else. I gave a gift, and they gave me their token of gratitude. So money, because it connects gifts and needs, it should be something that makes us all richer. But as we can see from looking at the Mali video, we're actually much poorer because we don't share things. We have tremendous wealth, but we keep it all for ourselves. We don't share our money. Typically, people do not share money. Even brothers, I know many families where the one brother is very wealthy and the other is very poor, and they don't share their money. That's the one thing that we tend not to share. We keep it to ourselves. And today, everything is denominated in money almost. We need, and it makes it even hard to give gifts, because in a world of standard commodities, if you give a gift, the person can say, well, I could have just bought that. So essentially and have you ever had this problem? Like if you're buying a gift for a wedding, it's like, what could I buy somebody that they couldn't just buy themselves? And then the next step is, well, why don't I just give them money? And this is, I don't know about in Holland, but in the United States, that's what's happening more and more, is people give a gift certificate. Or if there's a wedding, you have like this list of gifts, a wedding registry, and then the guests just pick something off the list and they order it. I mean, really, it's basically, it's like I give up. Let's just give money. So it's a great irony that money, well, why does money impoverish us anyway? We live in a world of such abundance. There's plenty of food for everybody. Most of the starvation in the world isn't because there's not enough food, it's because of the way it's distributed. You have food rotting in the warehouse while people go hungry in the streets. You have rich countries that waste enough food to feed all the poor countries. Just on my street where I live, every single house has a blender, to make drinks and things. But nobody uses their blender more than 15 minutes a week. It's something you hardly ever use. The whole street doesn't need 200 blenders. We really only need maybe 2 or 3 blenders. But everybody is buying all of this redundant stuff. Everybody has a big living room, but there's no communal space. It's not as bad here. In the United States, it's much worse. People have the average size of a house has doubled in the last 30 years. People have these gigantic houses, and there's nobody outside. So that's all wasted too. So we have this tremendous potential abundance, yet people live in constant anxiety, a constant state of scarcity, pursuing this mirage of financial independence, hoping that, to eventually have enough money that they'll be insulated and protected from any possibility. And always afraid, well, what happens if, what happens if I lose my money? What happens if there's an accident? What happens if I lose my job? What happens? I better have enough security and protection to prevent. So people are never at ease in a really monetized economy. And this trend is intensifying. If you look at the distribution of wealth, more and more of the wealth is going towards fewer and fewer people. I'm not going to talk about too much exactly about what it is about money that makes us poor instead of rich when it's supposed to just connect gifts and needs. But I'll say a little bit about it. Maybe just 2 minutes. Money is different from every other substance in the universe. If I have, say I have 50 loaves of bread, and I can only eat one, and they're going to go moldy or stale in a few days. And maybe you guys need some bread. I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll share my bread. Why wouldn't I? I would love to create this bond with you, to create this obligation. Share the bread. You're hungry, you need the bread, because I'm not going to be able to eat it anyway because it goes bad. And then perhaps in the future sometime, I don't know when, but maybe I'll be hungry, or maybe I'll have a need that one of you can meet, and you'll remember that I gave you bread. But money is not like that, because money doesn't go bad. If I keep my money, it actually grows because of interest. So money, and there's really no natural substance like that. All natural things decay. They return to nature. They're part of a cycle. But money is not part of a cycle, a natural cycle. It violates the law of return. Money grows and grows and grows with time. And because money is what we use to exchange goods and services, the realm of goods and services grows and grows with time also. And I'm not sure if everybody's studied or read about how money is created through debt, and how the amount of money in the future is always greater than the amount of money in the present. But there's a lot of good material now on this topic of how money is created and the effects of interest in a fractional reserve banking system. But basically, money is created when a bank gives you a loan, gives somebody a loan, and the necessity for even more money in the future is also created. So there's a constant competition for money, and a constant pressure to convert more and more of the world into money. That's why, so for example, to convert a forest into money, a forest does not count as goods and services until it's cut down and converted into board feet. Then it's a good. But until it is converted, it's not a good. A good. See? Here's an equation. Money equals good. If it's not convertible into money, it's not good.
What do you mean with good?
Good.
Like stuff?
Yeah, like when economists say, they talk about goods and services,
Yeah.
the definition of goods and services is something that people exchange for money. Fish in the ocean do not count as a good in economics until they are caught. And services are the same. If I take care of your children after school and then and you cook me dinner, those do not count as economic growth. Economic growth only happens when you pay for daycare and then I pay for a restaurant. That's economic growth. In other words, when things leave the gift economy and enter the money economy, that counts as economic growth. The crisis that we're facing today is happening because there's almost nothing left to convert into money. The process is not quite as advanced here as it is in the United States. The United States is the epicenter of the illness that's affecting the world. But it's happening here too. In the United States though, like when I was a child, we ate at a restaurant maybe once a month. Every meal was cooked at home. Today, 2/3 of all meals in America are prepared outside the home. You either eat at a restaurant or you go to the supermarket and buy prepared food and take it home and eat it. But people don't cook very much anymore. So this has been a trend for 30 years, which means the economy has grown by that amount in 30 years. But is everybody richer just because we pay people to do what we once did ourselves? No, we're not richer. We're just paying for things. We're paying to meet needs that we once met as part of a gift economy.